Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I uploaded, but I'm happy to be back, and this time I want to say that I'm very excited for my new project. As you can see on the screen, I'm working on a crafting game. Last time I tried to do a fighting game, or a fighting system as I called it, and that didn't go really well. While I did make some good progress and I learned a lot, I feel like that game still lacked a lot of backbone to it. I feel like I rushed myself into adding animation, sound effect, and yeah, just overall really doing it too fast. That the programming that was behind it, it was just not finished and it wasn't working um, exactly as I wanted it. It obviously works to some extent, but it still just didn't feel right. So I ended up just entirely dumping the project and then just moved on. The reason why I chose to go after crafting this time, it's because I feel like modern games make crafting into just a grind fest where they have you fetch a bunch of items and then just bring them back and craft something, and then you just do it over and over again. But then there's other games that just take it a step farther, like Minecraft, for example. I remember back in the day when I first played it, like back in 2013 maybe? I don't know. I played Minecraft back in the beta. Um, and just being like blown away by how it worked. Like, oh, you make the shape of what you're crafting with different materials and then it comes out. That's a brilliant system. It's such an innovation in crafting and recipes. Now, I'm not saying I'm gonna make a system better than any of those games. I'm just saying that I'm taking inspiration from it. There's one more game that I really want to mention here that has, in my opinion, one of the best crafting systems out there. And it's not even a newer game, it's actually pretty old. The game I'm talking about, it's Risen. This game would have you go and explore in caves and mines and dungeons to get some items that you can then take back to the forge, and then you can make a new item out of it. For example, in this clip that I'm showing, this player is crafting the Stormwind sword. In order to craft it, you need to go to a couple places and get the pieces for it. So as you can see here, he just got the blade. He then goes into another cave and collects the other missing part. So now that he's back in the forge, he can take that first part and then make it into a blank by putting it over heat. Next, he goes into the anvil and walks it a couple times to get it in shape. He then goes into water to lower the temperature on the sword. And finally, he sharpens it. So as you can see here, it's a very interactive system, and I fell in love with it the first time that I craft my first sword. Now, my game obviously does not look as nice as that, but I really want to get there. So now I'm gonna show a little bit of the progress that I got. First, I have an NPC walked into the desk, and then he was gonna leave like a work order for what he wants. The player will then look into his recipe sheet. You can see me there pulling it a couple times, and it'll guide them through making the sword. So here I grab 2 ingots to make the blade, and next I'm gonna grab leather, wood, and bronze to make the hilt, or the handle, whatever you wanna call it. So here I drop it in there, and then you get the recipe, and boom, it's crafted. And then lastly, you join both pieces using a different recipe. So it's obviously still got some work left to it, but I feel like I can, add more functionality here. And I obviously don't want to feature creep into this game, but there's just so much that I want to do. As you can see, I already got the sharpening wheel. I got like a furnace in here, and then I got a bucket of water back on the other side of the map. So basically, the game is gonna be about a blacksmith that runs a shop. There's a lot more background story that I have planned, like world building and more stuff like that, but first I want to really get the game mechanics down, and then once I start like putting in real assets, because these are just all like temporal, I'm gonna start building the world into it and tell a story and a lot more stuff that I just have planned. There's not much left for me to say, but I do want to show you how like my workflow is as far as like adding a new weapon. Because right now I only showed the character making a sword, and next I want to make a mace, a dagger, a shield, and a helmet. But I want to share with you guys how that all kind of works, because I've been learning a lot. I learned how to use Photoshop, I learned how to use Substance Painter, Blender, and a whole lot of more tools for me to be able to flip my assets a little bit so it just doesn't look all too generic, and that I can actually use the assets that I already own. So yeah, I'm gonna fast forward the next couple minutes. Please stay and watch it. It's I think it's pretty interesting to watch this whole process. Enjoy. So as you can see, it's kind of a lengthy process that I have to go through in order to make a new weapon. But here's the finished product. Like you can see there, I'm crafting the detail and it appears in my recipe. Then there's the handle, it also has a recipe. It's kind of an expensive recipe too. And my end goal is to have the like an income system where the NPCs pay you to make weapons, and then the better they are, the more they pay for it. I also want to make kind of like a weapon assembly system where you can take each individual piece, put it in a table where there's gonna be like sockets for them, and then you can just like mash them together. So even if you're making like maybe a mace head, you can put it in a different kind of handle, not necessarily the one that's from this mace specifically. So there's a lot of things that I really want to do and that I want to implement. I would obviously love to make it a full RPG with like quests and collection and whatnot, but as it is, this is all I'm capable of right now. If you like the video, please make sure to like it. If you want to see where this goes to, be sure to subscribe. And yeah, that's pretty much about it.
It'll probably be a little bit before I upload the next video, but I will try to at least upload shorts in between, just so I can share like a little bit of just the small updates that I do before I do like the big video. But that's pretty much it from it. If you sticked around until the end of this, thank you again, and I'll see you next time.